We've got to get to this wild swinging session so far for Canadian drug maker Valeant. Right now, the stock is down 3.5%, got hammered last week, but even today, as answers about its questionable business practices fail to calm investors, those investors still jumping from Valeant's ship. Here's what happened. Okay, look at this chart we want to show you. The pharma giant, after hitting a record high in August, sailing kind of along, falling a little bit, but on October 16th, things looked somewhat stable. Closed at $177 a share. Then notice how shares start to slide on, and this is important, Monday, October 19th. But then shares really take a waterfall dive on Wednesday, October 21st, after the short seller Citron Research accused the drug maker of fraudulent practices by using its ties with specialty pharmacy Philidor to inflate revenues, allegedly. Shares went into a tailspin, now down 42% in 1 week. But what happened October 19th, before Citron's report? A guy named Roddy Boyd, who has been called one of the most feared financial reporters in America, put out the first warning flare that day. His investigative reporting on Valeant came before Citron's report, and Citron then cited it, calling Valeant the pharmaceutical Enron. What did Roddy find out, and should Citron get the credit for Valeant's stock tanking? Roddy joins us now exclusively. Good to hear from you. Thank you.
Hey, Liz. Thank you for having me on. Good to be here.
So you put out this report entitled Valeant's Big Secret, which revealed some fishy revenue channels between Valeant and specialty pharmacy company Philidor, which may or may not be owned by Valeant. I need to ask right off the bat, who are you? Are you paid by any of Valeant's competitors? Do you have any donors who have questionable backing?
Sure. Well, I'm an investigative reporter, run a 501c3 nonprofit called the Southern Investigative Reporting Foundation. We trade nothing. We short nothing. This is complete nonprofit investigative reporting. It's primarily document-driven, which is just we don't do a whole lot of people interviews. We just say, hey, this is what their documents say. No one is paying me. Our donors, when we get them, are 50% small fry and 50% sort of retired people.
Are your hold on, are your donors shorting Valeant?
No, they are not.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to get that housekeeping out of the way. All right. Let's get right to your gumshoe reporting. You used to work for Fortune, you used to work for the New York Post. So you know what you're doing. You did real gumshoe reporting here. What was it that got your spidey sense?
I like that. And thank you for using that metaphor for on behalf of my 12-year-old son. Liz, all I saw were just a question that had another question. You know, why is a company that is slated to do $11 billion a year in revenue? That's what they've guided analysts toward this year, about $11 billion. Why is a company that size and with that profit and that high profile doing these ridiculous hidden revenue kind of connections? What are they doing? And no one there would answer anything. And it was very clear. Philidor, did not want to be discovered.
Right. Well, yeah. Roddy, the CEO, Michael Pearson, came out today and put out 90 pages. Did anything he said make you feel a little calmer about the questions you had, or did it make things worse? In my mind, it made it much more worse. He had a very easy straw man type target to address, market rumors about fake billing and stuff like that. And that gave him the opportunity to talk about a whole lot of nothing. And the bigger questions about why this happened and how much of organic revenue these little silly secret side channels represent did not address. Let me just speak to our viewer audience.
Sure.
What, in a way, Valeant's being accused of is taking a blood transfusion from their left arm and putting it in their right arm. They apparently have some deal. It's a weird relationship with Philidor, correct? And yes. If you say, oh, we made all these sales to Philidor, but you own or you have a relationship with Philidor that's questionable, those sales cannot count, correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's even more elemental than that. I mean, it's why on earth are they trying to do this transfusion? This is a very fraught kind of abusive relationship where they're not supposed to be doing sales in a large section of California, quite frankly. And it looks to me like Valeant is going to have to answer some really ugly, pointed questions from federal prosecutors.
Roddy, it's Charlie Gasparino.
Charlie,
how are you, sir? I'm old enough to remember covering Enron.
Yes.
This to me does not sound like Enron, and I'll tell you why. these sort of specialty outfits don't seem material. I mean, they don't seem like Chewbacca. Remember that, or one of the off-balance sheet partnerships of Enron, where they were Vector, where they were just they were basically funneling and doing these sham transactions at a massive level. This doesn't seem like it gets there. Don't you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. I think all this is just a way for them to keep their profits at a certain level. I don't.
So they're
believe
managing
that,
profits.
Yeah, I don't believe for a second. Yeah, Enron, those little side sham deals were keeping the lights on.
Right.
This is just keeping their stock price high.
So let's be clear here. We should be clear here. I've seen this in the past where companies have managed profits. You do get dinged by the regulators. You might have to pay stuff back, but it doesn't put you out of business.
Yeah. Is anything they're doing going to get them some type of trouble with the SEC?
Probably.
Oh, I very much think that they're going to have to, at the end of the day, like all companies, write a large check. It's just, I'm not sure to who and I'm not sure when.
Well, a large check doesn't help the investors who believed in this company and have watched this stock drop. Do you have more bombshells, Roddy, that are about to come out?
Good question. I'm working very.
I'm digging just like you did.
No, I am working very hard. With all due respect to those poor investors, they are amply warned, and they bought in. They drank plenty of sugar-infused Kool-Aid. I am working very hard to come up with more document-driven reporting on this company.
It seems like, if there's more shoes to drop from a regulatory standpoint, if you're an investor in this stock, this is not a place you want to be.
Well, it's scary. There seem to be still huge clouds or more smoke coming out of this so-called theater fire. You heard Michael Pearson today, the CEO of Valeant, saying we're going after Andrew Left and Citron. Are they going to go after you too?
That would be the greatest gift that ever could happen to me in my career. I don't believe God loves me that much, that this company would come after me. Because that would
you
be
say
remarkable.
I've got it covered. I have proven that these guys were doing something very strange, very weird, and under the table-esque.
Yeah, they're not going to come at me. They did not mention me as having a problem. They will not go after Andrew Left. They are, however, creating a nice document cloud for worried shareholders in the United States and Canada. That's all this is.
One last question before we go, Roddy.
Sure.
We have viewers watching who don't own Valeant, but they're worried perhaps, I don't want to get caught in this type of thing. What do they look for? What should they be looking for when they own stocks? Is there anything they could do that mimics what you did to find out if there are problems at a company they own shares?
Yeah, well, I mean, when a large, rich company, relatively rich company like this, cannot or will not answer basic questions about easy stuff like distribution, when you can't get a straight answer, ever. Again, my job, I'm just a reporter. If I was really rich or smart, I would be you two. But I'm not. And I would just say, if you can't get good, straight answers, I would, protect your capital and allocate it elsewhere. But again, I might be wrong on this. Yeah.
Roddy Boyd, we're watching this closely.
All right.
Thank you very much.